Imagine a quiet town, wrapped in the stillness of an early summer night in 1912. The moonlight bathes the streets of Villisca, Iowa, as a small, unassuming farmhouse sits in darkness, its windows drawn and doors locked. Inside, an entire family sleeps soundly, unaware of the horror that is about to unfold. By morning, the silence is shattered. 8 lives are taken, 6 members of the Moore family and 2 young guests, brutally murdered in their beds. The crime scene is unlike anything the town has ever seen. Mirrors covered, a bloody axe left behind, and a sense of sinister intention hanging in the air. The entire town of Villisca is plunged into fear and suspicion, and the question lingers: who could commit such an unthinkable act? To this day, the Villisca Axe Murders remain unsolved, shrouded in mystery and whispers of the supernatural. In this episode, we'll dive into the haunting details of that fateful night, the suspects who shocked the nation, and the eerie phenomena that continue to plague the infamous murder house. Keep your lights on. This is one story you'll never forget.
Welcome to Haunted Hangout, a podcast for those fascinated by the unexplained, captivated by the paranormal, and entranced by the absurd. I'm your host, Chelsea.
And I'm your host, Liz.
Do you have anything you'd like to share?
Should I talk about...
I have something I'd like to share with you.
Please go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, should I share what happened to me last week after we
recorded
last week's episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So by the time this airs, last week's episode obviously will have come out. So in the last episode, I talk about potentially wanting to open myself up to be more, willing to...
Open, spiritually open.
I'm opening myself to be more open.
Yeah.
Because I have been told that I have some empathic abilities, intuitive abilities to a certain degree, which I've always kind of known, but nothing like crazy. It's not like I hear people talking. I guess that's a lie.
That's not.
I don't
based on what we talked about.
I wouldn't say I'm a psychic medium by any means.
Yeah.
And literally that night, I'm trying to fall asleep. Mind you, we had a lot of wine, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But I'm trying to fall asleep, and I literally hear a random, old lady's voice in my head. And I cannot tell you what she said, but it was something, totally random. And I was like, what the fuck? And then behind my eyes, I, see, the silhouette, the dark black silhouette of a person, that they were, right here.
Oh, God.
And I, I opened my eyes to be like, the fuck?
Hello?
And obviously, nothing was there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, that's kind of weird, because I literally just tonight said, I want to open myself up.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I literally was texting you. I'm sitting on my couch working, because I was working from home that day. And I had 2 candlesticks in front of me, because I was cleaning up the house. I was getting stuff off the table, because you guys were going to come over and make candles.
Yes. And
all of a sudden, I out of the corner of my eye, I see one of the candlesticks move.
Oh.
And I was like, but it's weird because it's originally crooked and it straightened itself.
No.
And I was like, pardon?
Excuse me.
And then you were already texting me, and I was literally like, Chelsea, this happened last night, and okay, let's just be I don't know what's going on. And then I did it again. I moved it back so it would be crooked, and I sent you a picture where it's crooked. And then I was filming it.
Yeah.
And it didn't help in when I was filming it, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden I noticed it do it again.
No.
And the candlestick just straightened itself out again. Maybe 5 minutes later after I moved it. And I was like, what the fuck? So again, I don't know if it's because the candle holder is wobbly. It's a taper candle for people listening. So it's a longer candle and it's in a little holder. I don't know, maybe it's just a wobbly holder, but for me I'm why is it straightening itself?
Yeah, straightening is... I mean, I feel like if it was going the other way, gravity.
Right, where it's it's straight and then it's...
Yeah, so that's not... as terrifying. But the fact that it's going in the reverse, that's like against gravity, which is horrifying.
I took a before and after picture.
I know, you sent it to me.
I didn't send you the after.
I swear to God you did.
Because I honestly, I was like, no, I'm overreacting. I'm bothering her, so I'm not going to keep sending her candle picture.
I literally just imagined that you sent it to me. Because you described what's happening, and I was like, yes.
Oh, so that was it, like, this one. Like, you can see us on an angle. And then that was it.
Oh, that's weird. Oh.
And I, like, could see it happen out of the corner of my eye, because it was, like, right in front of me, and I was like, okay. So anyway, it could be nothing. Could just be, I don't know, physics, but
I don't know.
Felt weird.
Yeah.
Just because of, like, everything that happened, like, the night before, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Definitely weird.
That's my spooky story for the week. You have a story?
It's, you know what? It's not my story. I just saw that there is a serial killer in Manitoba. And I don't know if you've seen this yet. Ryan actually sent it to me, and he's like, I feel like you would like to know this. And I was like, correct, like good audience. But yeah, apparently there is and they haven't caught them yet. They just found their fourth body. Yeah, but there is a serial killer in Manitoba. So I just wanted to
I'm going to
tell the world.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that.
I'll send you the article.
I feel like there's so many serial killers out there that we just don't know.
This one's recent. It's been a while since I've heard like a recent in Canada. Like a recent like serial killer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just identified the fourth body, the fourth victim, which is so sad, but yeah, so more updates on that.
Okay.
There's a serial killer in Manitoba, people. You heard it here first. Unless you read other news outlets.
Unless you were looking at news.
unless you're literally just reading the news, then you probably heard it there first and here second, but
that's good.
But yeah, that's my only story. That I have to tell. Oh,
that's good to know.
Update, actually, my night, I haven't been waking up at 3 a.m.
That's good.
So, like, that's kind of, I feel like it may have transferred to you.
I was going to say, other than one night this week, I've literally been waking up, like, constantly throughout the night. Like, I can't say that I've had, other than literally the one night, I can't say that I've gotten to whatever the, like, deep sleep cycle is. Like, the REM sleep. REM.
Oh,
I think it's the one after. I think that there's REM and then there's one after where it's like even deeper, where you don't actually dream. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Someone tell me if I'm wrong.
I feel like I never get there.
Right? Like,
I don't even know what it's called.
I usually do, but I have not been, and I am tired. And my cat keeps wanting cuddles at 4 in the morning.
Oh, that's early. At least not 3. Could be worse.
I'm just pulling 4 in the morning out of my ass. It's all throughout the night.
Yeah.
I woke up one time last night and I like went to like move over and she was like right here. And she's like, Mah! I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were there. I exaggerated her meow. She has a very squeaky meow. It was more like, meh.
Yeah, she's cute as fuck.
I know, she's my new baby.
New babies.
But she is fucking all over me and I can't sleep.
She just likes to snug.
I know, she does. She really likes to snug. But she usually doesn't do this. Usually it's like, she'll snuggle with me as I'm falling asleep and then she'll kind of leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like literally every like 2 hours, I swear to God, like she's waking me up, being like, cuddles.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, I love you.
She's protecting you. I don't know.
What is she protecting me from?
I don't know.
World.
The demon that keeps moving your candlesticks.
Thinking about opening myself up.
I wanted fun, happy ghosts.
But I said I was thinking about it. I didn't say to do it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
More updates to come.
Yeah, I'll let y'all know if any weird shit. Nothing weird's happened to me. Oh, hello. Nothing weird has happened to me, like, since last Thursday. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah, like, I haven't heard any weird voices in my head, so. Maybe it was just because we had too much wine and my, like... Because I think when you're
when you're drinking, it lowers, like, the veil.
Exactly.
To the other... And I say this with, I don't have any reason or knowledge to know this, but I feel like the medium said that we went to. She said when you're drinking, like, it lowers the veil, so, like, you're more susceptible to that energy and to, like, spirits and, like, whoever wants to contact you
which makes sense.
more easily, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But
so maybe it was that, because we did have a lot of wine. Went through 2 bottles.
We did. Yeah. It was fun, though.
Sorry, that was my fault. You had full intention of going to the gym.
I did have intention.
I brought wine.
And I was like, I abandoned this. Should we get a pizza? Let's drink all of these bottles.
Pizza and wine?
We're like, we don't need 2 bottles. We did. We drank both of them. We didn't need them. We enjoyed them. But yeah. Such is life. What can you do?
Such is life.
What can you do?
All right.
Let's get into it.
Should I get into the story of the Villisca Axe Murders?
I'm excited. I feel like I know
it's pretty well known. So you probably you might not know the whole thing, but you probably heard of it. It seems
familiar, but I don't know all the details. So I'm excited to learn.
Get ready. I'm ready. It's honestly very sad.
Oh.
And this is a trigger warning. I'm going to say this. I'm glad I remembered. There is mention of children dying in this episode.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, so trigger warning for that. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a little bit about the history of the town and the house.
Okay.
Because we love our history here.
We do.
So the town of Villisca is located in the American state of Iowa and is nestled between 2 rivers. The town first began as a settlement known as the Forks, and by 1858...
Like from Twilight?
Twilight is just Forks.
Okay.
It's the Forks. Different states as well.
I'm deaf.
No, I immediately thought of Twilight as well. When I read that, I was like, oh. So yeah, the town first began as a settlement known as the Forks, and by 1858, the area only had 2 stores and a handful of homes. But in the same year, the town was chosen as a spot along the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy railroad line. One of the railroad employees, D.N. Smith, chose a new name for the town, Villisca, believing it to be a word from the Sac and Fox indigenous tribe that meant pretty place or lovely view.
Nice.
However, historians now believe Smith mistook it for a different word, Villisca, which meant evil place.
Oh, no. Classic Smith.
Once the train line was constructed, the town flourished. By the turn of the century, Villisca had multiple retail stores, restaurants, a theater, 2 churches, and 2,500 residents. During this boom, the house at 508 East 2nd Street was built in 1868 on lot 310 for a local resident, George Loomis. The home was about 600 square feet with 2 bedrooms, a parlor, a downstairs sewing room, a kitchen, and an outhouse.
It's only 600. That seems small.
It's small.
Yeah.
A barn was built next to the house shortly afterward.
Well, obviously, they need the extra space. I mean, why not build a barn? You gotta use it.
In 1903, the home was purchased by Josiah B. Moore. So Josiah Moore was one of the town's most prominent businessmen who'd secured a franchise to the John Deere Company.
What?
Yeah, John Deere.
That's crazy. I didn't know John Deere was that old.
Apparently, yeah.
Wild. Okay.
So Josiah belonged to a large family with most of his relatives, including his parents and 6 of his 8 siblings, also residing in Villisca. The Moore family played an integral role in the local community. Josiah married Sarah Montgomery on December 6, 1899, and then by 1912 they had 4 children: Herman, who was 11, Catherine, who was 10, Arthur, who was 7, and Paul, who was 5. On Sunday, June 9th, the Moore family, along with 2 young sisters who were friends of their daughter, attended a special evening children's program at the recently built Presbyterian Church. Ina May Stillinger, who was 8, and Lena Gertrude Stillinger, who was 12, were members of a wealthy family who lived on a large farm about 7 miles outside of the town. So after the church service, the Stillinger sisters stayed over at the Moore house.
Oh.
Yeah. The Moore family and the sisters arrived at the house sometime after 9:30 p.m. The 2 sisters slept together in the downstairs sewing room, while the 4 Moore children, Josiah and Sarah, slept in the 2 bedrooms upstairs. Sometime after midnight, an intruder emerged wielding an axe. The intruder attacked Josiah first, followed by Sarah. They were both bludgeoned with the blunt end of the axe. The intruder then went into the adjacent room where the 4 Moore children slept and attacked them next. Finally, the intruder headed back downstairs where he then killed the Stillinger sisters.
Oh.
Yeah. For reasons unknown, the intruder returned upstairs and inflicted further violence on the Moore family.
What?
Even though they were already dead.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What a sick fuck.
Yeah. The attacks were so brutal that the axe left gouges in the walls and even the ceiling.
Jesus.
Yeah. In the hours after the murders, the killer walked around the home and covered all the mirrors, windows, and the victims with pieces of cloth or clothing.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. He left the axe in the downstairs room where the Stillinger sisters had slept. The axe believed to have been used in the crime was reportedly taken from the Moore's own coal shed. He washed his hands in a pail of water, made himself a plate of beans and bread, and then left around 5 a.m., locking the door behind him.
That's some messed up stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you murder all these people and then you sit down and make yourself a meal, like, that is
like, you just stay in their home.
That is so messed up.
And eat their food and...
Oh, like, literally cook yourself dinner. Like, that's just disgusting.
It is. So, soon after the killer left, the Moore's next-door neighbor, Mary Peckham, went out to hang laundry. After about an hour, Mary Peckham began to find it odd that she hadn't heard a single sound from the usually lively Moore household. As more time passed and she noticed the family's animals hadn't been fed, her concern grew. Around 7:30 a.m., she decided to investigate. She knocked on the front door, but there was no response. When she attempted to enter both the front and back doors, she found them locked. Yeah.
Interesting.
He locked the doors, yeah.
Wait, so we can maybe get into it after.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, like, he locked, like, all the doors were locked,
Yeah.
but the intruder wasn't there. Did he, like, crawl out a window?
Yeah,
he
he locked the door behind him, so I guess he found a key.
Oh, so he had a key. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if he had a key or he found a key. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, both the doors were locked. So, growing increasingly worried, Mary called Josiah's brother, Ross Moore, who arrived shortly afterward with a spare key. Ross let himself into the house, initially finding nothing unusual. However, when he entered the first floor guest bedroom, he was met with a horrifying sight. A bed covered in blood, its sheets pulled up, and a lifeless hand dangling beneath it. In shock, Ross fled the house and instructed Mary to alert the town marshal immediately. By 8:40 a.m., the town's telephone exchange issued an all-call alert, notifying every household in Villisca of the grisly murders. What followed was chaos. Over 100 curious townspeople descended on the Moore house, turning it into a macabre spectacle. They wandered through the rooms, contaminating the crime scene, handling the murder weapon, and even taking fragments of Josiah Moore's shattered skull as morbid souvenirs.
What is wrong with people?
Yeah, I feel like back then people were so bored.
Yeah.
They had no entertainment. Not that I'm justifying what they did, because it's obviously, like...
That's kind
don't
of like...
fucking do that.
I feel also like back then, like, you know, like DNA evidence wasn't really a thing. So, like... them going and like contaminating the crime scene. They didn't know that there was
a crime scene that needed to be preserved.
Yeah,
then.
Well, that's a lot of people though to like go in and then be like, let's go make like a, I don't know, like let's go see what happened. It's almost like a spectacle.
Yeah,
but, I mean, this is at the time where like public hangings were a thing, right?
That's the thing. The time period that this took place, I can see why it happened.
Yeah,
but
it's just still crazy.
Yeah. So the county coroner, Dr. Lindquist, arrived at 9 a.m. and was appalled at the state of the crime scene.
Fair.
Yeah. He urged the sheriff to contact the National Guard, who eventually arrived to secure the house and its perimeter. Unfortunately, the damage had already been done. It would take several more hours before the coroner's jury was able to view the victims' bodies, marking a tragic and chaotic start to one of Iowa's most infamous murder investigations. And for anyone wondering what a coroner's jury is, because I didn't know.
I don't know.
So a coroner's jury is a body convened to assist a coroner in an inquest, that is, in determining the identity of a deceased person and the cause of death.
Several follow-up questions.
I may not have the answers for you.
I was like, can you explain that again?
Okay, so it's like a body of people who assist the coroner in figuring out who the victims are and why they died.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So after 10 p.m., the county attorney was contacted to obtain permission for the removal of the bodies. Once approved, the local fire station was transformed into a temporary morgue. It wasn't until around 2 a.m. that the victims' bodies were finally removed from the Moore house, marking the end of a very long and harrowing day for the small town of Villisca. So doctors estimated the murders took place between midnight and 2 a.m. Autopsy findings confirmed that each victim suffered fatal head injuries. This raised unsettling questions. How could an intruder move through the small, creaking farmhouse without waking anyone?
Yeah.
So this led people to theorize that perhaps the murderer had put a sedative in the family's milk or cocoa. So unfortunately, this theory could not be proven or disproven, as conducting toxicology testing was not standard practice during autopsies at the time. So after piecing together the events of the murders, investigators focused on statements from neighbors and townspeople. Burglary was quickly ruled out, as Josiah's wallet, still containing cash, had been left untouched. Disturbingly, evidence showed that the bodies of the Stillinger sisters had been tampered with after their deaths.
Oh.
So Ina was found lying on her stomach, and Lena's undergarments had been removed.
Oh, God.
Yeah. However, investigators determined that Lena had not been sexually assaulted, despite that.
Okay.
So in the barn, they discovered an imprint in the hay next to a hole in the wall, suggesting the killer had been watching the house for some time.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
And then they found 2 cigarette butts in the attic, which led investigators to believe the killer may have entered the home through an unlocked door or window while the family was out, and then hid in the attic, waiting for the right moment to strike. Which is really creepy to think that, like, you come home and there's someone, like, in your house.
In your attic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside the house, a gas lamp with its gas chimney removed and its wick turned low hinted at the intruder's attempt to maintain minimal light during the attack. A fragment of a keychain that didn't belong to the Moores was also found, adding yet another puzzling clue to the case. There were several suspects that emerged almost immediately. However, none were ever convicted of the murders.
Interesting.
Many of the leads were eventually exhausted, and over time, they began to dwindle. So today, historians and researchers who have delved into the Villisca Axe murders tend to align with one of 3 main theories. Okay, so this is theory number 1.
Ooh. Do I get a vote for the...
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you think happened. Yeah, don't you worry.
Who is our contestant?
Contestant number 1. No. So one prominent theory points to Frank F. Jones, a respected Villisca resident and Iowa state senator, as a potential suspect. Drama. Josiah Moore had worked for Jones for several years before deciding to leave in 1908 to open his own John Deere franchise, a move that reportedly infuriated Jones, especially since Josiah managed to take the profitable franchise with him. Adding fuel to the fire was a rumor that Josiah had an affair with Jones's daughter-in-law, Donna. Or it could be Donna. It's spelled D-O-N-A.
Oh.
So it's either Donna or Donna, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Gives Donna.
Yeah. Detective Wilkerson of the Burns Detective Agency publicly accused Jones and his son Albert of hiring William Blackie Mansfield to carry out the murders.
These names are disgusting.
These are very, like, turn-of-the-century names. Like, his nickname was Blackie. Well, neither Jones nor his son were ever arrested, and both denied involvement. Mansfield, who was the guy they think, like, was, like, the hitman, essentially. Yeah. He was later arrested in 1916 for the brutal axe murders of his wife, infant child, father-in-law, and mother-in-law.
Okay, he seems like it's probably this dude.
Oh, but just wait.
Oh, okay.
Wilkerson also linked Mansfield to other gruesome axe murders, including one in...
Why is everyone murdering people with an axe?
Okay, there's a lot of axe murders.
Don't you have guns?
Apparently, axe was just convenient because everyone back then had one.
Yeah. So, like, this makes sense.
Yeah. Because I also was like, why is there so many axe murders?
So many.
But yeah, in one of the sources I read, it said, like, it was just convenient.
Okay.
Everyone
had one.
Yeah. Which makes sense, because I guess they had to chop wood and shit.
Yeah, that's true. It was, like, 1912, right? Yeah. So, makes sense.
Yeah. So, Wilkerson also linked Mansfield to other gruesome axe murders, including one in Paola, Kansas. I don't know if that's how you say that.
It feels right.
Paola or Paola? It's probably not that. So this happened just 4 days before the Villisca killings.
Okay.
And then another one in Aurora, Colorado. So these murders, including the Villisca Axe murders, all bore striking similarities. In each, the killer used the blunt end of the axe rather than the sharp end. All of the mirrors and victims were covered up with cloth.
Okay, that's like a very niche thing that
That's
this
pretty
killer
niche.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that that guy did that too, like, why would you cover
Yeah.
up the mirrors?
So also, a lamp with the chimney off was left at each scene.
Interesting, yeah.
So a grand jury investigation was opened and Mansfield was arrested. However, payroll records provided Mansfield with an alibi that placed him in Illinois at the time of both the Paola, Kansas, and Villisca murders, and he was released due to a lack of evidence.
But wait, was he... Because he murdered other people, so was he not in...
But they linked him to those. They
Oh.
didn't...
So he was linked to
The only
both?
one that they actually proved was his family.
But
like-
was he was arrested?
He was
in
arrested for all
jail.
of them, but he wasn't actually convicted.
Even for the ones of his family?
That one he was convicted of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he
that's
was
the
in jail,
only
like,
one.
awaiting, like, did he get, like, the death penalty for
I
that?
have no idea. It didn't say.
Okay, interesting.
I would assume so, especially back then.
Yeah, because I would be interested to know, like, if he was, like, arrested and convicted for the murder of his family. Like, how is he out and, like, murdering other people then?
Well, the ones that I mentioned happened like around the same time as the
so
Villisca.
okay.
The ones of his family happened 4 years after Villisca. So that was 1916 when he murdered like his family.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, like, he potentially would have done these murders first, and then
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
So you can assume that if he
Did those
that,
ones,
it's
he
likely
did
he
that,
might have
and then
done it
he
in the
was
past.
convicted from his. Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes more sense. I thought it was the inverse.
The opposite?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that he like did those first. I was like,
killed his
hey.
family first.
Yeah,
and
I
then
was
was,
like,
like, out.
wait. I was
No,
like,
no, no.
how did this guy?
How is this guy
How
not in
is he?
jail?
Did they? Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't know. He did it after.
that makes sense.
Okay, so theory number 2. So the second major suspect is Reverend George Kelly.
A reverend.
A reverend. He was a traveling preacher who had recently settled in Macedonia, Iowa. Around the time of the murders, Kelly had been working at the Presbyterian Church in Villisca and had even attended the Children's Day program on June 9th, 1912. So he was like there, essentially.
Yeah.
So Kelly's presence in Villisca on the night of the murders and his hasty departure in the early hours of June 10th made him a prime suspect. He went so far as to write letters to investigators and even pretended to be an investigator from Scotland Yard in an attempt to gain access to the crime scene shortly after the murders.
Oh, sketchy.
Yeah. Which that's like a thing. A lot of killers
We'll revisit the crime scene.
revisit and involve themselves in the investigation.
Yeah.
So adding to the strange behavior, Kelly sent a bloodstained shirt to a local drugstore for cleaning the following week.
God, all of them seem guilty.
There's more.
This is hard.
It's very hard. So he was known for his mental health struggles. He had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and had a history of peeping in windows and committing arson crimes. Despite this, investigators initially chose not to arrest him, citing his small stature. He stood at just 5'2" and weighed under 120 pounds.
Well, that doesn't mean he can't murder.
So this was 1912 investigation.
Yeah.
They're like, this little man.
This little man, he can't do it.
Yeah, citing his small stature as a reason they doubted his ability to carry out such brutal murders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think now we'd be like, no, that's
Yeah.
like, I feel like people are capable of more than you would assume.
Yeah.
But back then, I guess we're like,
Definitely.
no. Kelly was eventually arrested for the crime. However, 5 years had passed. So witnesses no longer remembered certain details, and it was found that his confession had been coerced. These details, combined with the absence of physical evidence, resulted in a hung jury during the first trial and a mistrial in the second. So they tried him twice, and it didn't stick. So
Interesting, because I feel like the second guy who put the things over the cloth over the mirror, I feel like that's almost like a calling card. Like, that's like a pattern. Like, that's so niche. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like, and he murdered his whole family after. Like,
they know for sure he killed his family. They don't know that he did those other crimes for sure.
Yeah. There's like there's nothing really tying him to those other crimes, but it's just like the similarities are wild.
Yeah. Just wait.
More. Does everyone putting cloth over mirrors? Why does everyone seem like the murderer in this case?
I know. So this is theory number 3.
Okay.
So the third theory suggests that the murders were committed by someone unrelated to Villisca, such as a traveler, hobo, or serial killer. In May of 1913, investigators began to question if the Moore family murders were connected to a series of other axe murders in the Midwest. So these are like pretty much, there's more, but the 2 that I already mentioned previous, the same ones. So the prime suspect was Henry Lee Moore, no relation to the Moore family.
Yeah.
A man with a disturbing interest in morgues and a scrapbook of famous murder cases.
Well.
Moore is believed to have committed his first axe crime in Colorado Springs in September 1911. This was followed by murders in Monmouth, Illinois, and Ellsworth, Kansas just weeks later. A week before the Villisca murders, he was also linked to the killings of a man and his wife in Paola, Kansas, which is, I'm 90% sure that's the same one.
Yeah.
That I was talking about before. Despite these suspicions, Moore was never charged or convicted in connection to any of these crimes. More than 5 years after the Villisca murders, Moore ended up brutally killing his mother and grandmother with an axe.
Oh my god.
He was ultimately convicted of this crime. So again, there's like 2
so many
people
axes
who they thought could have committed all these murders.
Yeah.
Didn't get convicted and then ended up killing their families with axes.
Oh.
Like, what are the fucking chances
of that?
Yeah. So every hobo, transient, and unexplained stranger became a suspect in the Villisca murders. Another such individual...
Damn, they're just grasping at straws now.
They really were. So one such individual was Andy Sawyer. While there was no concrete evidence linking him to the crime, his name came up multiple times during grand jury testimonies. The morning after the murders, Sawyer was seen with mud on his shoes and his pants soaked up to his knees. He had also bought a newspaper that featured a story about the Villisca murders and appeared highly interested in it.
Well...
Sawyer spoke frequently about the killings and even confessed to his boss that he had been in Villisca the night of the murders and feared being seen as a suspect. His boss, growing suspicious, reported him to the sheriff about a week later.
But I feel like at that time, because they've already, like, suspected and arrested so many people that, like, even, like, this man who, I mean, he doesn't have any connection to, like, murdering anyone, right? So, like, he's just like, damn, they might pick me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thing, like, I have an interest in true crime, and now they may, which, honestly, a lot of people did at the time, because there was all those people who ran through the house after the crime scene. Like, again,
like, people had no, like, very few forms of entertainment back then.
And I feel like having a newspaper that, like, that talks about the murder, it doesn't, it's such like a loose base like thing for, you know, assuming someone is guilty.
But there is this next part, which is a bit suspicious.
It takes a turn. I spoke too soon.
Sawyer's boss's son also testified that Sawyer had pointed out a specific location in Villisca, claiming the killer had jumped over a manure box near the Moore house and crossed a railroad track.
Random.
So he, like, pointed out where the killer, like, would have fled from.
That's
like, how would he know
very
that?
Specific.
However, Sawyer was ruled out as a suspect when it was revealed he had been arrested for vagrancy in another town on the night of the murders.
Okay, so he's just into crime.
Yeah. Another early suspect was Joe Ricks, who was arrested in Monmouth, Illinois, after stepping off a train with bloodstained shoes. The Moore family's niece had reported being approached by a strange man asking for directions to the Moore house on the morning of the murders, and Mrs. Moore later saw the same man outside her home. However, the niece did not identify Joe Ricks as the man who had approached her. And he explained that the blood on his shoes came from a trade he had made with a tramp.
What?
So, I know. So I think he traded something for the bloodstained shoes.
What?
And that's how he got bloodstained shoes.
What?
And the person happened to be a tramp? I don't know.
That's a very terrible trade, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want bloodstained shoes, but okay. Anyway.
Also, were bloodstains common? Like, feels like everyone be bloodstained a little bit.
Maybe?
I don't know.
Back then? I don't know. Unsure. So, today, many researchers believe a serial killer traveling by train could be responsible for the Villisca murders, as well as other similar axe murders that occurred between 1910 and 1919. So, all those ones with, like, the mirrors being covered and the windows being covered, and, like, they all think that those were most likely committed by the same person. They just don't know who.
I still think it's the suspect number 2.
The Reverend?
No, he was number 3, wasn't he?
No.
The guy who put the cloth on the mirror.
That's the first one.
Okay, sorry. I think it's suspect number 1.
But see, but they don't know that was him doing that, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because that was just a part of these other murders, but they don't know that specifically it was him. So I do believe that the killer definitely, like, the same person committed all those, like, covering the mirrors and stuff. They just don't know which one.
If it was actually, but he was, like, convicted for killing his whole family with an axe.
Correct. So was the other guy, though.
Yeah, that's true. But he didn't cover the mirrors.
They didn't in either one, I don't think. It didn't mention that.
Yeah, so, like,
of the family.
I feel like there's so many similarities with, like, suspect number 1.
Well, it didn't say that suspect number 1 covered, like, with his family. It didn't say that he did that.
Oh, what? I thought it did.
No, those were the other ones that I was talking about.
What?
They just, like, linked him to... So they linked him to...
Oh,
They were thinking he could have committed the ones with the mirrors and stuff.
Yes, okay.
But he didn't actually... Like, yeah, like, if he had killed his family and covered the mirrors and stuff,
that's what
I'd be like,
okay,
yeah, absolutely. But
he didn't say
that he did that.
Okay, I thought that's what...
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just all very confusing.
Yeah.
So many people. Okay, so these are some of the other axe murders that happened around the time of the Villisca ones that they think are most likely connected. So we have the Colorado Springs Axe Murders. So on September 17th, 1911, 4 members of the Burnham family were found murdered with an axe at their home. After people discovered the Burnham family, they realized that their next-door neighbors, the Wayne family, had also not been seen. It was soon revealed that they too had been murdered. Henry Wayne, his wife Blanche, and their 18-month-old daughter Lula had been killed in the same brutal manner as the Burnhams. So that's 2 separate families killed in the same night.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then we have the Monmouth murders. So on September 30th, 1911, William Dawson, his wife Charity, and their 13-year-old daughter were bludgeoned to death with a pipe while they slept in their beds. So different.
Oh, God.
Not an axe, but still still blunt force trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Paola, Kansas axe murders. So 6 days, some say it was 6 days, some say it was 4 days. It was about a week before the Moore family murders. Rollin Hudson and his wife were discovered dead in their beds. Their faces had been covered, the murder weapon was left behind, and the windows were shut and the doors were locked.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then we have the Axeman of New Orleans. Between 1918 and 1919, a series of axe murders took place in New Orleans, committed by an unidentified killer known as the Axeman. The killer targeted victims in their homes, attacking them with an axe or other blunt instruments. Despite the considerable distance between the locations, the similarities in the nature of the attacks have led some to speculate that these crimes may be linked. So what do you think? Tell me what you think about all that information that I just gave you.
That was a lot of information. What's crazy about this case, I think, is that there's so many suspects.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, usually at some point they give up. I mean, I feel like they're really trying to find the, culprit, which I commend, but there's a lot of people who were named there, and they're, it's kind of wild to me how many suspects there were. Yeah, I think the most plausible is probably that it was a serial killer.
Yeah, I agree.
Initially I was so set on that first guy because I thought that, he covered the mirrors, and I think that that's something very intentional, especially with the locking of the doors and covering the mirrors. If there's any pattern like that, to me, it could be someone who's copycatting it. Yeah. But, if it's before, again, if it's before not reported, then, that could be significant. But, I definitely think that, if there's someone who's going to, if there is, evidence of a case where something similar like that happened, then perhaps it is the same person.
I will say, though, with the covering the mirrors and windows and stuff, that was a relatively, like, common thing for people to do during funerals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
But it's very... I feel like it's still strange. But the locking of the doors, too, like, why would you lock the doors? And also, like... I don't know. It's like, it could be a serial killer, but it's also like the fact that that person had to be so quiet throughout the house. It kind of makes me wonder, like, did you know the people? Like, how was no one screaming? And how did you murder people upstairs and then eventually make your way to, like, the basement sewing room or, like, the downstairs sewing room? Had already committed some murders. And, like no one...
girls not hear
how would they not hear that? You know, like
know. That's why it's like weird, right? Like but yeah, I do think it was either a serial killer and it's linked to all the other ones, or it was like a family member.
Like I was thinking that in the beginning. I was thinking that too, because it's like specifically like what we just talked about with like you have to be so quiet, and also the fact that no one's alarmed when they see you and they're not initially screaming. Like, look, if there was someone that I didn't know walking into my house, I would be yelling immediately when I saw them. So the fact that like they must have known that person, or
the killer somehow did sedate them,
and
that's why they were just all passed out, and that's sedated. Why they didn't wake up.
Yeah, that's fair. They were like sleeping. That's a fair comment. Definitely.
That's the problem, though. It's like, how are we ever gonna know now? This happened in 1912. Like,
unless someone kept, like, with the Jack the Ripper case, where someone kept like one of the items or some type of DNA somewhere. I don't know either. But yeah, I don't know. That's a very interesting case. And again, it's so wild that there's so many, first of all, so many axe murders that are happening at the same time.
A lot, apparently.
A lot of axe murders. And secondly, that there's so many suspects.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are you ready for hauntings?
Yes, I'm ready.
Because the house be haunted now.
Let's do it. House be haunted.
The house be haunted. So the Villisca Axe Murder house has changed hands 13 times.
I want to see a photo.
It's like a little farmhouse.
I know, but
and they I kind of talk about this a bit. They restored it to be like how it would have looked back in 1912.
Oh.
And you can like tour it and like sleep there if you want.
I'm looking it up. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I imagined.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Okay. So the Villisca Axe Murder house changed hands 13 times over the next 90 years.
Jeez.
It endured long stretches of vacancy and gradually fell into a state of disrepair. In 1995, a local real estate agent and historian, Darwin Lynn, bought the house and began reconstructing the house. Say house a lot. The house remained open to the public. The house opened to the public in the late 1990s and remains open today. Visitors can tour the house and even spend the night in this eerie location.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So since the house reopened, hundreds of visitors have reported unexplainable phenomena. Many claim to feel overwhelming dread, a deep sense of sadness, or even bursts of unexplained anger. Ghost hunters have captured evidence of spirits using tools like electromagnetic frequency, EMF detectors, and electronic voice phenomena, EVP. I can't talk anymore today. Photographs have shown orbs, ghostly mist, and other eerie occurrences. Some visitors have even seen children seemingly playing with an invisible force beneath the bed where the Stillinger sisters died.
Oh.
Yeah. So those who stayed overnight report strange happenings around 2 a.m. when a train passes through the town. It's believed the sound of its whistle triggers residual energy from the murders. Fog has also been seen drifting from room to room in the same pattern as the events of that fateful night.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So, 3 women from the Ghost Moms Instagram account visited the Villisca murder house and had some chilling experiences. They captured an EVP of a voice saying "mommy," had their REM pod go off for no apparent reason, and noticed the device's battery drain just minutes after a fresh battery was inserted. To add to the eerie events, one of them felt their hair being tugged.
Oh.
They were using a piece of equipment that scans a database of words triggered by changes in electromagnetic energy, commonly referred to as a spirit box. That's the one that you don't like on Ghost Adventures, the really loud one.
I don't like that. It's so loud.
When they asked how the family was killed, the word "struck" appeared. Upon asking who committed the murders, the device responded with the words "Reverend" and "Kelly."
That's crazy. That's scary.
I know. So another paranormal group, Adelaide's Haunted Horizons, conducted an investigation at the house. As soon as the investigators tried to contact any spirits in the house, the batteries of their equipment began to drain. They used a spirit box and received the word "leave." They then asked for a name, and the spirit box said Henry and then murder. Henry was one of the suspects' names.
What? Why are they saying so many different suspects?
Maybe they don't even know.
This is confusing.
Them, right? They probably wouldn't know who actually killed them, right?
I don't know, unless they knew the person.
If they knew the person, maybe, but if it was just a random stranger...
Yeah, then they wouldn't know.
No.
But...
when they asked if any of the children were there, they immediately received a yes, followed by the name Ina, which is one of the Stillinger sisters.
I know, it's sad.
And then house, death, and us. The next morning, the investigators returned to the house and conducted another spirit box session. The first word that came out was Paul, who was the youngest of the Moore children. The investigators then asked how many children were still in the house, to which the spirit box said 2 and girls, and then Ina again.
Oh.
Yeah. So some of the kids are still there, which makes me really sad.
Yeah, that's really sad.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing or following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leaving us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Haunted Hangout Podcast. Also, if you have a spooky story that you'd like to share with us, you can email us.
Send it to us.
At hauntedhangoutpodcast13@gmail.com.
Please send us your scary stories.
Yes.
We love them.
We love them. Even if it's not necessarily scary.
Even if it's heartfelt or you saw like a cool, fun, friendly ghost, we'd love to hear.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in to Haunted Hangout. Until next time, stay curious and make sure you always lock your doors. You never know who's lurking on the outside or inside.
On the inside. Oh, okay, bye!
Bye!